So I went around and thought about what kind of way I would want to talk about the video. I did about 1,000 words of writing, and I just found it quite a boring subject. So I feel like with the last video, I kind of went ahead with the assumption that, like, after you walk around for an hour without a filter, you're bound to come up with ideas, but I never really addressed what happens if every idea that comes out is a bad idea. What do you do then? Well, maybe you should walk around for another 2 hours. Get 2 more attempts of trying to come up with a good idea. But what if you have nothing that appears, nothing that inspires, nothing that moves your soul, as it were? And I just found there's nothing you can really do. I feel like nothing attuned to my head when it came to making a good idea for this YouTube video. And part of me thought, okay, I'm just going to freestyle it. I'm just going to put on this video and I'm going to freestyle make something that might be useful. And I was hoping that by doing it this way, something handy would have came up in my thoughts and travels that would beam down into my head now on the moment so that I could deliver it to you. So let's see if we can think of something, anything. I guess the big thing that I thought about when it came to the routine versus the inspiration, when it came to doing a routine, you can consider this a routine, right? I want to try and make a video a week, if possible, to tell you about why creativity matters and what things you can do to be creative. There's something in the act of showing up, regardless of how inspired or creative that you are, just for the sake of keeping the routine going. And then there's the other side, which is in that moment when inspiration does strike, you're bound to make a video that you're passionate about and that you're enjoying. And I was going to say that regardless of if you, in one hand, you choose the routine and you can maybe keep going with it until the inspiration comes back, and then you're more prepared than the one who waits for the inspiration. I have a friend who likes doing it the wait for the inspiration way, and as a result he comes up with better quality things than I do. But he doesn't stick to the routine, so he ends up losing the inspiration and thus doesn't do anything with it at all. Well, I would say, let's stick with it. Let's keep trying to show up and do something. But the problem with that is that it can kind of grind you down, because let's say you show up and you keep doing it for a month and you still haven't got anything interesting to say. What do you do then? It's interesting as well because I've only really done this creative idea thing for 1 week, and already I feel like I'm out of ideas. And it's like, surely I should have a lot of ideas that I'm really passionate about and that I really want to talk about. And I do. I have a lot of questions that I want to go through, but I don't have the inspiration for it. So I guess the question comes up, is it worth showing up to do the question and to make the video? And this is the same for any art form, right? Is it worth showing up to make your book, or is it worth showing up to do your painting, or is it worth showing up to make your album if you're not willing, if you don't feel inspired to do it? Is it worth showing up anyway? I guess people like Stephen King would say yes. He sat down and, regardless of his mood, he would write down, I think he said something along the lines of, he would write 1,500 words a day. on average. I think it was about 1,500. It might have been 3,000. I'm not 100% sure. But he wanted to complete and write 1,500 words, no matter what, of inspiration. I get the impression that he's always inspired and he's always got good ideas running. But maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't always have good ideas running through his head. Maybe some days it just isn't hitting him and it isn't interesting. So what do you do then? And I don't really know the answer to that, other than I'm recording this video now in the hopes that I come up with something worth talking about and is interesting. And we'll see. I guess I'm developing my skills a little bit more. I'm developing this ability to communicate my ideas, my thoughts to you. I play as a DM for my D&D group every week. And I've been playing as a DM for about a year and a half. And I was way better I'm way better now than I am when I started. When I started, I rigorously I overplanned everything. And as I went along, I found out that sometimes doing less planning ends up with a better D&D experience, because it allows you to have a bit of room for spontaneity. God, I can't say any words. For extra fun. I don't know how to... I can't speak today. It allows a bit of room for randomness. There you go. There's a word that I can say. If it's more than 2 syllables, it's too much for me, apparently. It allows a bit of room for randomness, and it means less planning. You rely on your intuition more, and that worked out. From when I started off, I did a lot of planning, and when I ended, I didn't really do much planning at all, and people enjoyed it more when there was less planning. The point is, though, I showed up every week. That was more the point that I wanted to make. I did a routine of every week. I would do some D&D prep, and then I would run a D&D session. And my skills improved as I went along. And there were some days where the D&D session didn't work out too well, or I didn't enjoy it, or it wasn't to my expectation. But on those days when it was good, people enjoyed it. And those days where people enjoyed it continue to increase as we continue the campaign. So I guess that's a good argument for relying on routine and just keep going, keep doing the thing that you need to do. The argument against it would be that some days you're not going to enjoy it. Some days you're not going to want to sit down and do D&D prep, or even act and be a DM. And it's similar with these YouTube videos. It's similar with whatever art form that you're doing. Sometimes it's not going to feel easy. It's going to feel more like a struggle. But maybe if you just begin it and do it, then something can come out of it. Sometimes I think you can overplan these things, and as a result you end up in a... you can overplan creativity sometimes. It's like, I want to make this, and here's my plan of how I'm going to make the thing that I want to make. I have an album concept that I want to make, and I've overplanned it to shit. I've got the whole plan. But as soon as you begin to do the creative process, the plan fails. And things go out of whack. Because ultimately you don't have control over how the creative process ends up going. All you can do is, like I kind of mentioned before, but I think it actually matters more now, is to make that space. All you can do is allow the chaos that comes with creativity to be made, that space to be made, and you have to throw yourself into it. Whatever comes out, difficult to say. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Well, it depends. Depends on how you do it. Depends on how you feel. Maybe that's okay. So I guess to wrap this all up, I guess I am basically making that video now that I've just thrown myself in. I mean, that's literally what this video is. I said to myself I had this idea and I didn't think it was a good idea, but then I just threw myself in and did it anyway, and well, this is how it came out. When you have a creative idea, you can plan it all that you want. You can wait for inspiration to come along. You can do a routine or whatever. I don't think it necessarily matters which way you choose to do it, whether you wait on an inspiration thing or that you do it as a routine and wait for those skills to come up. But I guess ultimately know that you don't have any control over, while you're doing the creative process, you have some control, you have your abilities, and you can increase those abilities over time by routine and spontaneously going, okay, I'm going to learn some scales. You just do that on a whim via inspiration. It doesn't matter how you do it, but ultimately what matters is that you show up in the space, and whether it comes out and turns out good or it turns out badly, you don't have full control of that, but all you can do is jump in and see how it goes. That's all I've got. So, thanks for watching. Speak soon.